Up. Hey! Our microphone is now working. Fantastic. Here we go. Alright, I apologize. This has been quite the difficult start to the race as we are underway. Stephen Page leading off as Jeffrey Radke follows him round on the inside. Sorry, he's going to take over the lead as Higginbotham tries to follow up in third place as well, under fire from Derek Fulton already. Our favourite Canadian coming in. This is Gareth McAllister calling the action, 1080p, 60 FPS. Had some technical issues starting this one. Thankfully, we've been able to get it underway, as I thought I saw a truck go through the infield just there, but maybe I was misled, as we have gotten this race underway. This is the FEG PC Nascar Oval Series, brought to you from Nashville Super Speedway. As it looks like quite a sunny track on the concrete here in these big banked corners. Lots of speed going to be traveled through, as we keep watching Higginbottom under fire from Fulton, Warren, and Shane, all behind in a line, 4 cars. Warren tries to go underneath Fulton here. Fulton with a slightly higher line so far. As we'll go back through the grid slightly further, get everyone some time, as I forgot, well, not forgot, but had technical issues reading out the grid earlier on. Fascinato going way to the high side. Corey Stoll able to get that place in front of him. John Below coming up in the number 9 machine, trying to get a position from Fascinato as well. John Molahan chucked in there in the 10th spot at the moment. Wally Babb just behind. He's in a bit of open space at the moment, trying to catch up to Molahan. Sean Powers, Jordan Darnell, and James Kaufman in a line. McKenny, our race winner from last week, this being round 2 of segment 4. Last week, 3 wide action, able to edge out Radke and Powers right at the end there. Fantastic race. If you haven't seen it, definitely catch up on it at iRacing Speedway. As makes a very, very daring move to the underneath of Jordan Darnell, able to make that one stick. The high side of Jordan Darnell underneath James Kaufman, sorry. Chad Hoss Ross just behind, watching that battle unfold. Shane P. Davis behind him. Chris Davis behind that, Luttrell also in a little bit of open space. Kenneth McCullough Jr. and Mark McFadden, sorry, coming in closely behind each other. Jay Dargett just behind them, and Jeffrey Ford, it looks like, has registered but may not actually be in the session at the moment. And I hope we have not struck some more issues as we have tried to make our way through grid very quickly. I'm going to try and reload some things. Hopefully it'll come back again. Whew. It has been quite the start to a broadcast, let me tell you. Alright, looks like hopefully we're not stuck in this view. Go to drivers. Thank you. There we go. As Jeffrey Radke still leads from Stephen Page. Higginbottom still under fire from Eli Warren now. Shane and Fulton falling back slightly. As Warren's going to make that pass stick to the inside. There he goes. Fantastic moves all around this speedway. Nashville Speedway, 135 laps, 1.33 miles per lap. 2 green, white, checkered attempts if we manage to make it that far. Through the 135 laps, then we will have 2 goes at it once again to try and get to the finish of this one. I've just realized I'm not sure it's coming through with... No, it should be... I hope it's coming through with the truck audio and it's not just my lovely voice that you are hearing at the moment. Currently, your closest battle on track is going to be Wally Babb, really working hard to get around Fascinato. The 99 and the 69 going at it. Within 0.2 of a second of each other. As you see that blue oval following that Toyota through the start-finish straight and onto the banking once again. Not as high a banking as we're used to seeing in some of these super speedways. So definitely it's going to be interesting. We see 3 and 4 looks like quite a bit higher banking than 1 and 2. As they make their way round again. We're going to jump slightly further up as Higginbottom looks like he's being pressured now by Adam Shane as well after Eli made that pass a couple laps ago. Now pit lane speed this time at Nashville Super Speedway is going to be only 45 miles an hour, so definitely something to watch out for as these drivers try to get these trucks slowed down. Big old heavy machines, a lot of speed, very small brakes. Gonna have to be careful as Shane looks like he really dove it in deep to try and make something happen. Not close enough to do so. And Fulton thought about maybe getting himself involved in that one, but obviously not quite able to make it stick as he looks like he was slightly too far behind to make that one work as well. As we're watching John Mullahan and John Below just behind each other, the number 9 and the number 6. A lot of people have 6s and 9s in this race, I'm seeing already. All right, as here he goes, the inside. Nope, thought better of it. As, look at that, John Below going way to the inside there, trying to use all of the track that is given to him. Trying to carry as much speed as he can through the front straightaway. As it looks like that actually gave him a slight advantage over Mullahan heading into the next couple of corners. Corey Stoll just ahead of these two. Looks like these two have actually caught up, Jumbo and Mullahan, as we want to go slightly further up because we are seeing Eli Warren putting some work on Stephen Page just ahead and looking to go from third to the second spot so far. Definitely something to look at and watch, as I believe. No, Eli Warren is being chased down by Higginbottom. I apologize for that one. As we watch these trucks go around, fairly single file sorted out throughout the field. Everyone finding their line, working out what kind of pace they have underneath them, as Sean Powers has just gone around Jordan Darnell for the 14th spot. And behind them, looks like there's some action going on with Kenneth McCullough Jr. and Chris Davis. As McCullough Jr., I believe, made that pass to get himself into the 16th spot. Oh, getting very close. Chris Davis, not sure if he got a little bit loose. He looks like he's going to have a run, though, as we head on into turn 3. Yes, goes to the inside, making that pass. Slide up in front. No, he's going to leave him the room. Giving Kenneth McCullough a little bit of a better drive off, but not quite enough, as Chris Davis is able to hold that position down. Average lap times looks like we're seeing around here are between 30.5 seconds and about 31.5 seconds, within that range. So quick laps of this super speedway. And we will feel obliged to show the leader at the moment, Jeffrey Radke, really in that Toyota Tundra. You can see he is putting in the work after his unfortunate second place in the last race. He was leading the last 2 laps by, well, I wouldn't say by a considerable margin, but certainly had the control of the field and was blocking to all he could, but unfortunately just could not block the run from McKenny to take home that win last week. So definitely a bit of a redemption round for Jeffrey Radke at the moment, and he is proving that he deserves a top spot once again as he controls this field, leading by just under a second ahead of Stephen Page just behind. You can see him running all the way down the yellow line. Stephen Page looks like running a slightly higher line we saw just there for a second. Looks like not getting down quite as far into the corner. And I'm not sure that might be hurting his drive off and his entry, but he might also be conserving his tires a little bit more, not wanting to wear them out as quickly. As you see him stay more in the groove of where the rubber has been laid down. Meanwhile, only just behind him, Eli Warren and Jason Higginbottom still fighting it out. As we're going to go back because we just saw Fascinato and Wally Babb, I believe that is. No, Fascinato and McKenny were going at it. They were swapping places as we just tried to pan the camera over and catch it up, as we've got Corey Stoll going round John Mullahan. Mullahan not having any of it, trying to stick it around the high side. The 6 and the 66 going around. We've got Wally Babb just behind, looking on, trying to decide which truck is going to be faster than the other. Both Chevrolet powered machines, as they're still side by side going into turn 1 and lap 25. Bab Fascinato looking like he wants to come in and get his nose pointed in there as well. As they're still side by side. This is where all the action is at the moment out on the track. Wally Bab looking dangerous behind them still. Maybe thinking of taking it 3 wide. He's looking in. Decided better of it. Probably a good call. As Corey Stoll and Mullahan are still side by side. This is unreal. They haven't been too close together, but I wouldn't put it past Wally Bab to try and do something to get past these two, as it's non-stop side-by-side action at the moment. Even McKenny's caught up to this pack now. Two drivers side-by-side, certainly slowing each other down, and these trucks just behind them not enjoying the slightly slower pace that is being set due to this battle. As Dalton McKenny is now going to go to the inside of Fascinato due to this slower pace. Certainly something to be desired out of these machines. One of them has got to give, but it's not happening still. This is outrageous. I don't think I've ever seen a two-wide battle go for this long without a result. As Stoll and Mullahan still continue to swap positions like crazy. This is for the 8th spot. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. All there. As they continue to be door to door. This is absolutely amazing. As Wally Bab's chosen the high side, McKenny and Fascinato the low side, behind Mullahan and Stoll respectively. As this just continues. I don't want to pan the camera away. This is actually amazing. Well, they're getting closer. I don't know if you've seen this. I mean, I'm sure you have. You're seeing what I'm seeing. They have been getting closer and closer to each other on corner exit. Looks like McKenny has made his way through both Bab and Fascinato once again, so he's going to try and almost wondering if he's thinking about a 3 wide. It looks like he might be considering it, not quite doing it at the moment. Oh, it looks like Mullahan's been able to pull ahead and shut down that move that Mullahan was trying to do on the inside. The high side finally winning out. McKenny following him through. Wally Bab is going to follow as well. Fascinato makes the move a little bit too soon and almost gets into Wally Bab. Very, very close indeed. But Stoll still hanging on in this pack. For the moment, you can see waving and wobbling that concrete looking a little bit more bouncy than the pavement that we're used to seeing on most tracks. As Bab and Fascinato still struggling to get around Stoll. Oh no, and there it is! We caught it live! Something had to give. We expected it to give a little while ago. We have been told no truck sound. That is not ideal, as that is a lot of damage on Corey Stoll's truck. As, oh, that looked like a nasty, nasty hit. All right, so we will take that one back and go for one more time, and then I will hopefully get some sound in. I really hope so. Yeah, it looks like Fascinato came underneath Wally Babb. Babb didn't know he was going to be there, and unfortunately, it looked like Stoll just copped the brunt of it. Oh, man. Ooh, good avoidance there from the 22, able to keep it out of the rest of the field. So, as we see all of the drivers in pit road trying to take some tyres and bring their trucks back up to spec, we're going to try our best to get this sound issue sorted out. I believe I have. All right, fantastic. We've got someone in the chat, Dustin Carruthers, saying Mollahan doesn't give an inch. It certainly didn't look that way, but we can say with all certainty that may not have been giving much room, but certainly there was enough to be able to not have an accident. So fantastic driving in that regard. Unfortunately, there was an accident that eventuated. However, Mollahan was not involved, so we are able to see that one through. I believe we have fixed the truck sound that I had a problem with for the first unfortunate 34 laps. I thoroughly apologize for that one. But I believe we've fixed it now, so we should be good to go. And we will show the tower. There we go. I always like to show the tower. It gives you a better idea of all the drivers at the moment. You can see exactly where they are. You can see them much more easily as to what position they are under caution. So it does block a little bit of the screen, which is why I like to flick it over to the top scrolling bar as we get the race underway. But as you can see, Radke at the moment with a very dominating performance. Derek Fulton able to get out of the pit lane quicker than quite a lot of other drivers, actually, with a pit stop of only 11.7 seconds. So certainly something doing on that machine. Those pit crew boys have certainly earned themselves a paycheck rise. I would think so. John Below and Eli Warren makes up your second row, and Mollahan and Stephen Page will be your third row for this restart. As we have a fairly sizable 22 car grid. Gathering from what some of the drivers were saying beforehand, it's a little bit smaller than we're used to seeing, but I still reckon 22 trucks, certainly nothing to sneeze at. That's quite a lot of action going around the track, so certainly something to be interested in and to get a lot of action out of as we get ready to chuck it back into green once again. Radke on the inside, Fulton on the high side. And there we go. Radke with a huge launch, as we're used to seeing out of Jeffrey Radke. Fulton following behind, Below and Warren already side by side. Well, they're going to be side by side most of the way through the field, I guess, aren't they? John Below, Ellen Warren sorting it out fairly quickly. Single file, single file, single file. Adam Shane did not hear that call. Neither did Jason Higginbottom. As Higginbottom looks like he's going to go slightly lower Then Adam Shane. Adam Shane taking a bit of a higher line. Not sure if that was preferred or not. Didn't look like it, as we have another caution come out very quickly, showing as Jay Dargett, and whoa, he is around already. We're going to back that one up. And so we grab an outside view of this one, because that would probably be beneficial, I would think. Already seen some scrapes and bangs on the side of his truck, as you can see there. And what's happened? Looks like the two truck just didn't get going as fast as he thought he would. Fascinato was a little bit high and got checked up, tried to make a move, nothing doing, and just scrapes that outside wall. Thankfully, doesn't seem like a huge impact, so I'm sure he'll get that truck rocking and rolling once again, as we are under caution number 2. Lap 39 of 135. As always, we at Team Green Squad would like to thank everyone tuning in, watching live, all the drivers, all the leagues, all the sponsors that come out and support us doing what we do, and putting up with us as we try to figure out where we are and what we're doing as we get this thing rolling underway again. Oh, Radke with a cheeky little look down pit road. Not sure he was going to fake anyone out after they've only had, what, one green flag lap after they just came down and all took tyres? But hey, you never know, got to spice it up for the camera. It's definitely focused on you, Radke, so good on you for that one. So we're still going to have Radke and Fulton on the high side of Radke on the low side. John Below and Eli Warren will make up your second row, sorry. And John Mullahan and Stephen Page will be 5th and 6th. Now, Mullahan, we saw having that epic two-wide battle and making it stick on the high side, so should certainly be interesting to see if he can still keep it down too wide without getting involved in any incidents. A lot of these trucks looking very fancy tonight, I should say. These paint schemes incredibly easy to recognize. Very nice looking. As we're just scrolling through some of the field, showing off some of those paint schemes. Definitely, definitely, we see some trucks already having some paint scraped off of them. As we get ready to go underway once again, the pace car's lights are out. And it will be making a hard left turn onto pit lane. When we go around 3 and 4, of course. You still have Radke and Fulton making up your front row. 2 Toyotas side by side. Big setups in this league. Everyone has the same equipment underneath them. So it's really down to the driver, and Radke we have seen prove himself today to be unbeatable so far. See if that trend continues or if Fulton can give him a run for his money. As Radke gets a huge launch once again, Below tried to follow him. Looks like locked up or spun the rears slightly, I should say. Fulton may have that position. Baloo's going to say no. Below is going to take it away from Fulton and squeeze him out. So Fulton is going to be in third spot now. Warren falling behind. Mollahan, Shane, all in a very, very tight pack. Shane trying to do something else. McKenny might just take advantage, getting very, very close to the rear. He's going to try and send it down the inside. Stick his nose in, given a lot of room by Shane. A little bit too much room, I'd say. Shane goes way up the track. But I could be wrong, as Shane looks like he got a lot of drive coming out due to that move. Shane comes down a little bit further in 3 and 4, getting a little bit wiggly. Underneath him was McKenny. Shane, I believe, was just reacting, not getting loose himself. McKenny looks like he's going to take over that spot. And, oh, Mollahan with a huge dive on Warren. And there he goes, making that pass look incredibly well orchestrated and easy to pull off. As it looks like Shane is going to try and get McKenny back. Is he? No, he's in trouble with Page. Page on the high side. Page pinning him down to the bottom. Fantastic drive there. Ooh, getting very close to that outside wall, almost causing an accident due to reacting from that. Thankfully, nothing coming from it, though, as Higginbottom goes around the outside of Shane as well. We're going to go a little bit further back. James Kaufman looking like he's going after Mr. Mark McFadden. Certainly some scuff on the outside edge of that truck, as there's a little bit of love taps with the wall, I reckon, going on there. Very, very bright colors, these two trucks. Very easy to recognize. As Kaufman seems like he just doesn't quite have the drive off he wants or needs to get past McFadden there. As we have another battle, Chad Ross going to the inside of Chris Davis. Oh, Fascinato trying to get involved in that one as well. I swear every time we look at a battle, Fascinato pokes his head around the corner and says, "Hey-oh, I'll take a piece of that." Always seems to be involved in plenty of action, Fascinato is. As trying to get around Chris Davis. High side, low side, pick your poison, as he looks like he's going to try and go to the low side on exit. Always an interesting strategy, slightly less speed, but definitely a better exit he got there, as Chris Davis is going to have to give up the inside line to Fascinato. Absolutely. This huge lunge. Jordan Darnell behind him. Not sure what he was thinking there. Going to give the place up to Kenneth McCullough Jr. due to that fact. And Fascinato is going to make that move through Chris Davis as well. I think Darnell just slightly missed his braking marker and just went a little bit too deep. And absolutely sent it. as we're going to look, because there is a battle brewing big time, bigly, with Eli Warren and Jason Higginbottom. Higginbottom around the high side, Warren sticking to the inside. A lot of room on this track, thankfully, as we've seen a lot of two-wide action. This concrete certainly not giving anyone any niceties, as it's very, very bumpy. You can see the trucks wiggling around every so often. You can also see some rubber being laid down, so that should definitely help with some corner entry speed, as Warren and Higginbottom continue to be just behind each other. Stephen Page just in front of Higginbottom as well. And they are trying to catch up to McKenny, who is currently in 5th place, who is also your biggest mover of the race so far, up 13 spots from where McKenny started. So certainly someone to watch out for as we wind the clock down. As you never know, some of these drivers could certainly have the pace that Radke is showing up out in front, but due to being caught up in traffic, just can't quite get there to prove that point. So we shall see. Another big mover so far is John Molahan, up 10 spots. And we've seen how Molahan has been able to make it work, as he has gotten around Derek Fulton for that 3rd place spot. From the spectator area, we are being told that from Dustin, sorry, Caruthers, that John Molahan has a good line, and we are definitely keeping a close eye on that at the moment, and it certainly seems that that is the case. As you see him get very close to that yellow line, that corner might not have been so great. Possibly some broadcaster's curse here going on. Commentator's curse, probably shouldn't have said anything. But there you go, looks like he's back on form there. Really has dialed down turns 3 and 4, where he seems to be making most of his time on Fulton behind him and on below in front. I think these drivers are still trying to work out just where to go in turns 1 and 2. As Fulton goes for the move, Molahan's going to have to give it to him. As we saw Molahan having the fantastic drive at the exit of 3 and 4, and it looks like that trend is going to continue with sticking with it on the high side. Fulton's still got his nose to his rear quarter panel though, so Molahan's going to have to be wary about coming down. McKenny's getting involved. 3 wide action. This could be disastrous. Molahan gives the spot to Fulton. Fulton has to go wide because of the line that he had to take due to that 3 wide. McKenny, the big winner in that one. Stephen Page trying to get involved, as well as Jason Higginbottom very close behind as well. Derek Fulton is struggling slightly as Molahan tries again to get back around. Nothing doing, as Higginbottom seems slightly higher up in the line than anyone else at the moment. I'm assuming that's because he's very close to Stephen Page in front. Stephen Page trying to go for Jason Molahan. John Molahan, sorry, right now. And Molahan may have chewed up his tyres just a little bit more than he wanted to. It's looking like his pace has slightly fallen off what we were seeing earlier. As Higginbottom's going to go around, and there is a train, so he might be stuck on the high side for a little while. That is not what we wanted to see from John Mullahan, as he has been an exceptional driver so far already in the first 60 laps of this one. That high side you can see just not rubbered in very well at all. As he loses that spot to Higginbottom, and Warren thinks about it, but Mullahan says, nope, I'm not having this anymore. I'm coming down. And has cut off that run and is blocking the inside lane. You can see that. Warren says no, and here he comes as well. Oh my. There are some passing moves going on. Warren makes that one stick. That is incredibly surprising. As Mullahan continues to fight that truck. Davis tries to get involved as well. Mullahan has to check up a little bit because Warren checked up in front of him. A little bit of a domino effect going on. Davis says, I'm a little bit faster on exit. Gonna try it again. And here he comes. Oh, and there's our boy Fascinato. Every time there's action out on track, he's somewhere. Somewhere to be seen. As Davis not quite able to make it past John Mullahan at the moment. Mullahan really struggling with that truck. I do believe those tires have been worn out quite a bit with a lot of the battles that he has had to deal with. So hopefully next pit stop he can get some freshies on there and get that thing rolling once again, as Fascinato makes that pass as well. Now we're going to go a bit more up front as we see Derek Fulton getting very close to Dalton McKenny for third spot. As Fulton, you can see, just seems to carry a little bit more speed around the center of the corner, mid-turn. He really seems to be, Fulton, yeah, just seems to be carrying a little bit more speed on exit and through the corner. McKenny definitely getting a better entry as we see him go low into the corner, but maybe hurting his exit speed, getting so low so quickly. Fulton having a nice smooth line we can see there. McKenny's is a little bit more power and wheel focused. As we've actually got 1, 2, 3, and 4 Radke below McKenny and Fulton pretty close together. This is the first time we've had really anyone challenge Radke for the top spot within half a second, so it's definitely leading to some interesting news as Below tries it. He's going to try and take the lead away for the first time since the start of this one, and does so, leading his very first lap, and the only one to lead a lap besides Jeffrey Radke himself. John Below showing us that he is all action as he gets that black painted number 9, very scary looking truck up into the top spot. Kenny and Fulton having their own battle for third spot just behind them. This position has changed hands between these two drivers several times. As we see Fulton trying to the inside. Looks like Fulton checked up quite a bit, and McKenny might not have had the run that he wanted or decided to give Fulton the spot. Not quite sure. It almost looked a little bit interesting just there, but As we continue watching this one, Fulton doing something different. I truly believe that it almost looks like Fulton is lifting off the throttle and then braking mid-corner to get that truck positioned better on exit, which is very fascinating as Radke goes down. Radke is on the inside. Dalton McKenny also going down pit road. So they are pitting out of sequence from almost everyone else. Shane P. Davis going with them. We're going to see if that strategy pays off or not. Radke obviously feeling that his tyres were not where he wanted them or unhappy with losing that top spot. So decided he wants it back. As Below and Fulton are now free from any real pressure. 1 second gaps between themselves and between Fulton and Page just behind as Higginbottom continues to work on Page. Fascinato is also coming down pit lane. So we will see the shuffle of the order as Higginbottom still tries to work towards Stephen Page, just comfortably sitting in the draft, I think, at the moment. Not pushing the issue too much. Now Higginbottom, I'm not sure if I've... Higginbotham. I apologize for that one. I don't think I've seen Higginbotham in any races previous. This will be my first time calling the action for him, I believe. And certainly seeming like he knows what he's doing with that truck as he is in 4th spot at the current time. And has been in the top 10, I believe, the majority of the race. So certainly a good truck underneath that man. Or a good foot underneath that man, I should say. As Radke has just, after just coming out of the pits, has set the fastest lap of the race, a 30.61. Absolutely flying around on those new set of tyres. And trying to get some laps back. Just behind the 6th place truck of John Mullahan. Going to make that look easy, of course, due to those tyres. Well, in saying that, it doesn't look as easy as I thought it was going to be. As Mullahan, as we know, knows how to run too wide, so... Yeah, but you can see the corner speed is just different. It's so much of an advantage in the middle of the corner. And you can just see how easily he's able... Look how much speed difference between himself and Eli Warren in the current 5th place. It's a huge difference. As we'll go back up front with John Below. We expect him in at some point soon, considering the fact that Radke came in. I would expect more drivers near the top to come in. Stephen Page, Jason Higginbottom and Eli Warren all coming in as Radke makes his way back around them. So from Below still staying out for the moment. And there he comes down pit road. Derek Fulton following him down. Adam Shane is going to say no, not having it quite yet, and he's going to stay out a little bit longer, possibly hoping for a caution to change the strategy up a bit. Green flag stops, always a hard one to keep track of, as there is just absolute chaos on my timing screen. As trucks come down pit road, they get their stuff done and they come back out, as Adam Shane looks like he is coming down pit road as well. Make sure you get it down to 45. There you go. As we're going to... And to Kenneth McCullough Jr. is going to take over the race lead and lead a lap here at Nashville Super Speedway. Dustin Carruthers definitely letting us know that Mullahan will be back in it once he gets some new tyres underneath him, so I do not doubt that for a second. Oh, was McCullough Jr. getting very, very close, as he will be the last truck on pit road, I believe, and hand the first place spot back to Radke as Radke comes back around. And yes, through the start finish just there, Radke takes the spot back in front. McKenny not too far behind though. We were talking earlier about how McKenny might actually have something for Radke, but just not sure because of the fact that he had a lot of traffic to contend with. But up 16 spots now in the second position, we should definitely see if he has the pace that we were thinking he might. Very different line to Radke, as you can see there, going from inside to outside. Radke, I believe, sticking around more of the middle sort of line for the most part. Not getting as low as McKenny, but not getting as high on exit either. Doesn't seem like he's pulling away though, so both drivers seemingly found a groove that works for them. We're going to pan the camera back a little bit further to Stephen Page. He has been a rocket ship with those flames. Team 3 on the side represent. I love that. I love the flames on the side of a truck. I don't know what it is. Brings out the kid in me, I think. As he looks like he's going to have something for Jason Higginbotham. I will hopefully rectify that mistake in my speech. As Higginbotham tries to hold on to it. Looks a little bit loose. I wonder if that's the fresh tyres talking. As sends it in deep. Never mind what I say. Prove the commentator wrong, why don't you? At that perfect moment, Stephen Page is going to have to wait an extra lap before he decides whether he wants to have a go or not. Fulton just ahead of these two, and Warren just behind. This is shaping up to be a 4-truck battle. As this is currently your closest set of battles on track at the moment, after the pit stops have cycled all the way through. Now Fulton has 1 lap fresher tyres than these 3 cars behind him, 3 trucks behind him. So, although doesn't have the draft, so not sure that will equal out. I feel like the draft will still have more of an effect than 1 lap of tyres. But you never know. Fulton definitely having the pace advantage over the trucks behind him, as we've seen him slightly higher up the order than the other trucks for the majority of the race. Higginbotham still under fire from Page, but I'm not sure Page is looking for, looks like might have had the opportunity to send it a couple times now and has decided better of it, just to stick in the draft. Stephen Page thinking about it. Here he goes. Diving to the inside and making it look easy. Warren is going to follow him through, and Higginbotham is going to let them both go and drop in behind to pick up the draft from those 2 trucks that just went by. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. I just panned the camera back to Jeffrey Radke and Dalton McKenny. McKenny has found something else. And like I said earlier, I wonder if McKenny has the pace to challenge Radke. It's looking like he certainly does, as he goes to the inside here. They're going to be too wide for the lead, crossing the line at lap 89. It's not lap 80, it's lap 89. And Radke holding the high side, not wanting to give it up incredibly easily. That is interesting. Usually when we see Radke give up a position, he lets them go, and he will catch up later. Below getting involved in this one as well. We know Below has the pace. We know Radke has the pace. We know McKenny clearly showing that he now has the pace. 1, 2, and 3. This is absolutely unreal, as we have had McKenny lead that lap before, but Below is going to go around the high side and say that I am just quicker than you, kid. And McKenny has to just follow him through. A little bit of fire coming out of Radke's truck. You saw there. Oh, as he hits the wall. Oh, no. Do not want to see that truck out of action. Just got to calm down, keep it together, and just find his rhythm, grab the rhythm back, as Below starts to catch up to some lap traffic here. Lap traffic getting out of the way very well. Staying on the high side, fantastic stuff. Good respect from the drivers, as Below is making waves. We've seen Below do this so many times, where he will start in a not so favorable position, starting in 11th, and this particular race, and all of a sudden, just mid-race, he finds something. We're not sure what it is, but he just finds something midway through the race, and he's always able to get that truck pointed the right direction and gapping the field at the moment by a huge margin. Absolutely dominant performance from Below here. As you can see, we were only talking about how close that battle was very recently. And you can see, there's McKenny. And we're going to see if we can give more of an idea. McKenny has just passed the start-finish line there. And Below's already midway through turns 1 and 2. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but he does it consistently. Consistently we see Below do this. And he's already got an interval of 2 seconds, almost 2.5 seconds above Dalton McKenny as well. As we pan the camera back a little bit further, Jeffrey Radke under fire from Derek Fulton. So that's an interesting one. Now, I should mention that McKenny and Radke both came in 7 laps earlier for their tyres over Derek Fulton and John Below. So that may be playing a factor in the differences of speed at the moment. It would not surprise me at all, as 7 laps does not sound like much, but I'm sure on this concrete, with these bumps, with these heavy trucks, it's playing a huge factor right now. This is why strategy is so important. As not sure where that lap traffic came from, but potentially was in the wall, as it just seemed to appear on my screen, as Stephen Page is going to follow Radke and give him a run for his money as well with the 6 laps fresher tyres. And there goes Stephen Page. Round on the inside. Eli Warren thinking about following him through. Is Radke going to block him off? No, Radke stays high. Great level of patience from Radke as Warren is going to make his way through as well. And we have our first visitor once again. McKenny is going to come down pit road. Interesting to see McKenny come down and Jeffrey Radke stay out. So I assume Radke's going to come down in the next couple of laps, maybe thinking about strategy specifically. What time would be a good time to come back out with those new tires to the point where the pace doesn't fall off enough to cost him a potential win here, as in he comes that very next lap. And Radke making his way down as well as McKenny makes his way out below, still having a dominant performance at the moment. With a 3.5 second gap now over his nearest competition, Derek Fulton. It just always amazes me how John Below can do this, seemingly week in and week out. Lap 100, a 1:35. We are getting this one rocking and rolling, as Below is showing us that you don't need to qualify high to finish high. Absolutely astounding performance from him. As we currently have Chevrolet, Toyota, Chevrolet, Toyota, 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 and our first Ford is going to be Adam Shane in the 7th position, down one spot from where he qualified. Moving up to 6th as we say that, as Higginbotham has come down pit road to grab some new tyres of his own. So we will go a little bit further back in the field at the moment. Sean Powers is very close to Chris Littrell and looking to make the move, and does so. No issues or worries there at all. I have just looked at Littrell being on 4-lap older tyres than Powers, so I'm sure that is making an impact, as Littrell was last on pit road at lap 77, which is the same lap as John Below and Derek Fulton up in front. Powers pitting on lap 81, so trying something else, a different strategy to everyone else in the field to try and get himself some positions on strategy. Could work out well, you never know with how these races play out. As you see some trucks there just coming back onto the track underneath. Machinato is going to be one of those. As we're going to go back up front, Stephen Page and Eli Warren are still, I want to say, locked in a battle. There's a little bit of a gap forming there, but it's still fairly close from what we're used to seeing. So it's about a little bit more than half a second, about 0.6 of a second between the two drivers. As I'm sure we're going to see the front 7 drivers at the moment, all of which have not gone down for some fresh rubber yet. That would be Below, Fulton, Page, Warren, Shane, Moss Ross, and McCullough Jr. I'm sure they will come down and grab some fresh rubber for the end of this one. Potentially waiting to see if there's a caution. Potentially trying to... Whoa, as McKenny comes round with a right liquor pace. Unreal. Those new tires, you can just see the massive difference. It's just insane. The cornering speeds are just way higher. And I know I've talked about it a lot. But tyres certainly playing a big factor in this one, as we often see for the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. And I believe that's because everyone is typically a very strong, very steady, stable driver. Not a whole lot of cautions coming out. And so a lot of green flag laps being turned on rubber at race pace. And that chews them up and spits them out. So fresh rubber, definitely a huge thing in these races. As Radke is going to go around Stephen Page and try and work his way up to below to get his lap back. Stephen Page currently in third. Now he'll have to make his way by Fulton and below as well as we go back up to below. He's still 3.5 seconds in front of Fulton. Absolutely astonishing. As I wonder if we're going to see him come down again, or if he's going to try and make these tyres last the distance. Last came in lap 77, so I wouldn't recommend him doing that, but he could prove me wrong, as we have seen some trucks already who were pitting on lap 77 come down once again. Oh, in the thick of it now with 26 laps to go. Below Fulton, Page separated by quite large amounts. Warren catching up to Page though. I'm going to pan that back and we're going to have a look at that. Higginbotham coming in on those fresh tyres, making moves, making gains. And Warren going to try and use that draft to his advantage. And the fact that Page is stuck on the high side. Fulton coming down pit road. Fulton is coming down pit road from second position. Just waiting on John below. Should be very interesting to see where he comes out. He's going to keep his position in the front. And John below. There he goes. He is coming down. Come on down. So yeah, he is coming down to grab his tyres. Stephen Page and Eli Warren coming with him just below. We see a little bit of lockup there. I believe that was from Stephen Page, judging from where the smoke was. This is really going to shake things up big time as Shane grabs the lead once again on that different strategy to everyone else. A couple of more laps before I assume that Shane is either going to pray for a caution or wait it out 1 or 2 more laps before coming down. As, yeah, he's going to stay out 1 more lap at least. 8 seconds ahead of Chad Ross at the moment. Spoken a whole lot about Kenneth McCullough Jr. or Chad Ross, currently in third and second spot at the moment. Trying something different to see if they can get their trucks out in front. This is Chad Ross on your screen at the moment. Still churning laps. Kenneth McCullough Jr. did take over the race lead briefly earlier on. And we can see Fulton just behind, working his way back through. As there he is, that's McKenny. Did I say McKenny? I might have said Fulton instead. I apologize if I did, I can't remember. But definitely McKenny is making his way back through after his pit stop. 22 laps to go. And Adam Shane goes in. Ross stays out. McKenny takes over the lead. John Below has come out of pit lane and has set the fastest lap of the race so far, a 30.5 dead. So, absolutely flying John Below, as we are used to seeing somehow at the end of all these races. Has a little bit of a gap to go to get to McKenny, though. We shall see, as he's just behind Radke here. And gonna make that move and make it look fairly simple. Around the inside, there he goes. All getting caught up in lap traffic, though. Whoa! Not quite sure where to go. Thankfully figures it out. That was Chris Littrell in the lap traffic there. Collar Jr. is next in the firing line for John Below. Currently sitting in second place after their last pit stop at lap 79. So desperately praying for a caution, I guarantee that. And not coming down pit road quite yet unless they come this time by. It does not look like it, as they're a little bit higher than I expected to see. And no, they are coming down. Never mind. Just barely making the turn. Get it slowed down. In you go. So Kenneth McCullough Jr. giving up the third position. As we go back to John Below, because we know Below is going to make a run at McKenny for this final stretch of laps. We just know it's going to happen, and it's going to be epic. We're going to get a gyro cam, because I want to see how Below is managing to do this as he catches up to McKenny. So that was about a lap with Below, and yeah, I thought it would take longer than that to pass McKenny, and Below, as usual, just blowing my prediction out the water. There's not much I can say about the talent of that man. It's unreal. Either way, McKenny doing a fantastic job keeping that truck underneath him. Derek Fulton still in third. Where's Radke? Radke is down in fifth at the moment, not too far behind Fulton. Fulton has much fresher tyres though, as he may actually be able to have something for McKenny in second position, as it looks like that gap is slowly dwindling. McKenny, if you recall, was the first driver of all the lead trucks down pit road for the last stops, pitting at lap 97. Both Fulton and Below pitting at lap 110. Well, Below pitting at 111, but near as makes no difference. And Fulton looks like he's gonna make quick work of McKenny here as well. That pit strategy of McKenny's maybe not working out the way he intended. However, definitely if he can keep a podium spot, that will be a huge win. Still up 15 spots from where they started, so definitely nothing to sneeze at as Fulton makes that pass. And with those fresher tyres, makes it look fairly easy. Got a little bit of a battle going on back here. Warren and Page once again with Higginbotham again. These three just cannot stand to lose each other. They are glued to the backs of each other as they continue to trundle around this circuit one after another. And it's crazy how you can have three trucks who are clearly very different drivers, different skill levels, and they are somehow able to just perfectly line up in sync. It's just crazy to me. Through all the pit stops and everything, they're still right behind each other. So fantastic stuff from those drivers. Radke, unfortunately, as I believe we actually have seen this from Radke before. Usually the dominant truck, but not quite able to hang on to it. I think we've seen this from Radke before. I believe we have. And so certainly if you could get a mix of Jeffrey Radke and John Below in terms of early performance and late performance, surely you'd have the best truck just racer of all time. I can't imagine that you wouldn't. I mean, that would be insane. The closest battle out on track is still going to be Stephen Page. Now catching up to Dalton McKenny, Eli Warren following in. Higginbotham has fallen back slightly. This is not what McKenny wanted to see. 111 is when both Page and Warren came in. McKenny, as we know, came in before a lap 100, lap 97, so those tyres are screeching for some help. And Stephen Page is not going to cut McKenny any slack whatsoever. So he gets right on the rear of that truck there. The flames down the side. Stephen Page looking to spit some of his own flames out of those tires. Getting them dialed in for the move. It must be said, McKenny's done a fantastic job to try and keep the pace he's been able to keep with the tyres he has underneath him. It should be stated that. I mean, this man is dealing with 20 lap older tyres than almost 20 laps older than a lot of the guys around him, and he's not that much slower. So fantastic consistency from him, as Stephen Page is going to make that pass for the third position and get himself up into the podium spots. As McKenny is going to think about it. He wants it bad. Nothing doing though. He's going to check up Warren as well behind. Might give Stephen Page some breathing room from Warren that was chasing him down. And unless there is a very late caution to throw a spanner in the works of this one, we could be seeing the 1, 2, and 3 as it stands right now, with below Fulton and Page. McKenny's still holding up Eli Warren and keeping him pinned down to the inside, allowing Page to leave a considerable gap now, which is the biggest gap he's had to Warren, I believe, almost the entire race, at 0.7 of a second. Eli Warren finally making his way through McKenny. Last week's winner not quite choosing the amount of tyre life beneficial to his race at the moment. So it looks like he may be stuck in the 5th spot for this one. Still not a bad showing by any means, but certainly I'm sure not what he was hoping for. As Warren tries his best to come back up to Stephen Page, but I'm not sure he's going to have enough time to do it. As we jump back up front to John below. And there it is, the white flag will fly as we come to an exciting conclusion. As John Below makes his way around for the final time, an absolute masterclass showing. As Below will take the checkered flag. There it is. Fantastic stuff, passing over the Nashville Speedway sign. Followed by Derek Fulton and Stephen Page bringing up 3rd position. We've just had a change for 10th position. Want to go back as this is heating up very, very close to the end here. John Mullahan, Adam Shane, and Chris Davis all very close together. And Shane looks like he's just edged out Mullahan, I believe. Yes. By less than 100th of a second for that 10th place spot. Unbelievable. As the trucks make their way down, and that is it. John Below celebrating, rightfully so. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic bits of racing from him. As he has 100% earned this burnout and this celebration. All right, we will bring up the results for you as Below continues to burn down. We were going to. Guess it has to wait a little bit longer. So we will continue to watch this celebration as I am entertained by it. By putting on a smoke show, there must have been plenty left in those tires, clearly. As we will bring the drivers up into the waiting room, starting with Stephen Page. Stephen Page, you've got a copy.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, Stephen, unbelievable. Fantastic drive from you. I believe you got a little bit of help from race strategy there. And tell us what your thoughts on with the battle with Eli Warren, because that looked intense. That kept going for lap after lap after lap.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Eli was fast. Yeah, I mean it was just had to save your right front. This track was brutal on a right front tonight. So yeah, a little strategy. I got to thank my teammates. I mean, Team Three Racing. These guys are good with this strategy and all this kind of good stuff. So, but yeah, it was a good run for us. But yeah, it was. You definitely had to watch your stuff.
Yeah, so I've really got to ask, did strategy play a big role, and um was that the main reason, or did you just feel like you had a whole lot of pace from the get-go here? I mean, obviously it was very hard to keep up with Below. Something in that man is just not human. But it certainly looked like a strong, consistent performance from you. Got any thoughts on that, or is it just basically just being consistent, just hitting your marks every single time?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit definitely hitting your marks. Like I said, you had to back the corner up. I had fairly good pace for the first couple of laps, but then I really felt like I needed to save my stuff, and um, I think we probably all had about the same tire strategy, but in the end, I think Derek and John just did a little better on pit road and got out ahead of me. but
All
still a good
right.
run for us.
All right. Well, fantastic drive to get up into the third spot. I don't believe I've talked to you before, so great to see you up here in the booth, and I hope to see you here again. Any friends, family, sponsors you would like to shout out at this time?
Yeah, I appreciate it there, Gareth. Give a shout out to my teammates, Team Three Racing, Page Lawn Care for paying the bills, and um, appreciate you, man. Doing a good job up there.
Thank you, thank you very much. I couldn't be happier calling a race like this. It's been a little while. We had some issues at the start, but hopefully it's good enough for you and anyone else that is watching at home. We love to talk to you, Stephen, and hopefully we'll see you up here again in short order.
All right, thanks, Gareth.
All right, that was Stephen Page. Now we are going to switch it over to our favorite Canadian coming in the second spot. Once I can, why is this not working for me? There we go. Whoa, here we go. Derek Fulton, welcome.
Look who it is. He made
But
it.
yeah, I know. I had yeah, thank you for I have to give a special shout out actually. I realized I didn't do this during the broadcast, but I have to give you a special shout out for helping me manage to even get here in the first place. I had a few difficulties joining, but thank you very much. Regardless of that, the race was absolutely phenomenal from my perspective, and you didn't look like you had quite the truck you needed, but somehow, like towards the end, you found some pace I wasn't expecting you to have, and your lines looked very smooth. What was the reasoning behind that? Did you just fall into the groove that you wanted, or?
Yeah, I didn't run too many practice laps, so I kind of took the first run to really learn the place, and then that's what we were just talking about there in the waiting room. It was we were so close, like almost identical lap times there through the run. So he was able to get a couple seconds on me after that. I think it was second pit stop cycle, and that was all she wrote. It was just lights out. He was hitting his times perfectly. I was hitting my times perfectly, and that little gap that he got was all he needed to roll it out. But he did everything he needed to hit his marks and not give anything back. So I mean, credit to him. He did everything he needed to do, and I mean, I think I got some work to do here at this track. It's kind of a new track, but it's a lot of fun. And man, I tell you, I haven't worked that hard behind a sim vehicle in a long time.
Well, I mean, that's testament to how you finished, really, at the end of the day. I mean, fantastic job if you were finding it that difficult and you ended up in second place anyway. Just shows what a talented driver you are.
Well, it's sometimes you just gotta dig in and just get her done, right?
Absolutely. Now, Derek, we're gonna let you go at this time. Who would you like to thank? Friends, family, sponsors. Don't thank me um, for appearing in this second place spot.
I'd like to thank octawrap.com. Check them out for a paint scheme if you need one, a wrap, and any other logo work. And besides that, just FEG for putting on these races and these events are always a good time. And you guys for broadcasting.
Okay, well, I'll appreciate. I'll take the you guys as long as it's not directly at me. I'm happy with that. But yeah, no, fantastic stuff, Derek. We always love chatting to you. Thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to us and to help us get into the booth today. So, thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll see you here again, as you certainly have the pace for it, my friend.
Sounds good, buddy. Have a good week. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
You too, man. You too. All right, that was Derek Fulton coming home in second. Now we're going to have the unbelievable up in here, John Below, the unbelievable alien. That's how I'm going to say it. What's going on, man? Got a copy, John? Hello? John, come on, you got to give us something. We have. Oh, we heard a little blip there. John, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Gareth. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Fantastic to hear from you. Um, I was just calling you an alien just before, and I don't mean that in a nasty way at all. I can't believe how every single week I'm watching these races, you seem to just somehow make your way from sort of mid-pack and then just absolutely blitz the field. Do you have a secret to that?
No, man, we just not really good at qualifying lately, and it hurts us. I'd rather start from the pole because clean air is huge. I don't know if anybody felt it, but it was worth a tenth and a half, maybe 2 tenths throughout the run. And yeah, I'd love to start up front, but it's not been happening lately. And a lot of it has to do with the small amount of practice I had coming into this. I mean, I ran maybe 15 laps tops.
All right, well, you and Derek Fulton, you guys need to stop talking to me about how you didn't run too many laps. It's not helping your other drivers. I'm sure they're a little bit upset to hear that every time you guys keep on winning, so nah, but
Yeah,
you
I mean, Derek's tough competition. I go into this league race every night knowing what I got to do to win, and he is definitely the one I have to beat. And I kind of like everybody to think that too, that everything runs through the 9 and the '07 because he's really good. Tonight probably wasn't his best track. Uh, I got to thank my teammates though, man. They helped me out throughout the race. They're the ones who keyed in and said, "Hey, you probably want to start shifting." I hear everybody else, and I wasn't early, and then once I did, I mean, it was night and day. It was like we flipped a light switch. The truck was plowing early. I mean, I had to try to do something to get it to rotate in the center off.
all right. Well, I mean, you clearly made it work towards the end there. You had unbelievable pace. I say it almost every week, but oh, not every week, but I say it to myself every week that if you put yourself when you finish and Radke when he starts together, you'd have the perfect driver.
Yeah, Jeffrey has a really quick, short run pace. I mean, he was good long run. They strategized themselves out of the race. I mean, the tires were falling off so much, and then the lap times were really slow that you had to run it long, and it really paid off as I was able to just drive around them. Like, I I get the short pitting sometimes works, but this one was definitely not one of them. I don't want to give up our strategy, but I mean, once I seen them short pit, I was like, hey, I'm gonna run it long and just see. And then after the first time it happened, and I drove by him with ease and pulled him pretty hard, I was like, okay, well, we're running this next one long. And I'll be honest with you, I was waiting on Derek to pit because as soon as he pit, I was like, yep, I'm not getting short pitted by you because that's who it came down to. I mean, it's monkey see, monkey do on strategy late.
It definitely looked that way. We did see you come down straight after Derek, so we thought something might be going on with strategy there. But fantastic to see you in the winner's circle once again. Um, and I say once again because I know it'll happen so many more times as well because you are just absolutely a class of the field, my friend. Who would you like to give a shout out to? Once again, you can thank the team if you'd like, friends, family, sponsors, anyone else to get this win today.
Oh yeah, I gotta thank everybody on DBR. Like I said, they helped me throughout the race. I thought I had about a 10th place truck tonight, and like I said, flipped a light switch. Then I gotta thank Reaper Speed Lab on the open side. Go check them out, reaperspeedlab.com. Gets the best open setups on the market. Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of driver coaching has came from them guys that people don't know about, and they've really what have progressed me through the sim. Gotta thank, Jason Higginbotham, he hopped on here. He's really pushed me to be better, even though he's only ran 2 races, but he kind of gave me some insight of what I needed to do to be faster, and it really helped. And, these wins are great, but you don't ever know when it's your last one. So you got to cherish everyone like it is. And we appreciate Jeff and everybody putting on the show that they do and this league that they got going. It's fun. The tire strategy is unlike anything else you'll find. And then obviously everyone at Goon Squad who does all these broadcasts, you Gareth. I mean, y'all are incredible.
Oh, thank you so much, John. It means a lot. Uh, it really does mean a lot. But yeah, this show tonight was all about you. So definitely crack open a cold one. I certainly will. And cheers to you, buddy. Have a fantastic celebration.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's just awesome to win these things, man. There's some good competition in here. So, thank you.
All right. That was John Below we were talking to just then. As we are going to wrap it up for the night, we will put your results up. Give me the results, please. I've had this problem so many times. All right. So it's pulling up race. Not pulling up the results tab. Oh well. We are going to go with this then at least, so we'll chuck it on the tower. So below was your leader, Fulton, just behind Stephen Page in third position, Warren and McKenny fourth and fifth. Higginbotham was just mentioned, is in sixth as his second race, it turns out. So absolutely astonishing finish from him. Jeffrey Radke in seventh after a great performance early on, unfortunately dropping back. Ryan Fascinato in eighth. Chris Davis in ninth. Adam Shane in 10th. That will round out the top 10. And you can see the other drivers scrolling down there. So you can see where your favorite driver finished. And we at Team Goon Squad will always love to thank every single person who turns out and watched this race unfold. Thank you very much. And yeah, on behalf of Team Goon Squad and FEGPC, we thank you very much. And we will see you same time, same place next week. Have a good night. Catch you at Daytona.